so many people, myself included, are struggling with an internal battle. One voice that says the sky's the limit, and the other voice that throws in fear, judgment, and doubt. And in this video, I want to share with you a few tools that I'm using on a regular basis and that I've shared with multiple people who have really changed their outlook and their perspective on life when they implemented those things. Because I think pretty much every one of us is going through times where the more negative voice wins, where we let that voice talk us out of our dreams, out of our goals, and stop pursuing the things that we are passionate about, that inspire us. And this video is really, the intention behind it is to support you, that you reclaim that power and that you stop listening to that negative voice and start listening to the voice that says the sky is the limit. But before I get into it, for everybody who does not know me, my name is Martin, and I made it my purpose to share with you here, unfiltered, authentically, and without holding back. I'm going to share with you my life stories, my lessons, my experiences, because I feel like we are all here on this planet and we can support each other. We're not alone. We're in this together. And the more people I can reach, the more people I can support to find their own inner strength, to start being in the driver's seat of their own lives, I think the more of a positive experience we all going to have during our lifetime on this beautiful planet. So if you have not yet subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you did. I'm going to share on a regular basis, pretty much every day, a new video on new topics. And if you want to join the tribe who is all about growth, about community, and about positive change, then you're in the right place, because here we are stopping self-abandonment, stepping into our own power, and supporting each other on our journey of growth. Everybody who has already subscribed, thank you so much. It means the world, and happy to see you here again. All right, let's dive into today's topic, which is really all about listening to your positive inner voice. Now, I know it's not easy, and it's pretty much impossible to always listen to that voice, because there's so many influences that we're under. We have so much noise within us and around us. I mean, most of us, if you're watching this video, you have most likely a smartphone or a computer, but you certainly do have internet. Once you have access to the internet, there is so much information that is kind of like coming towards you that very often it is very, very difficult to filter through that noise, to know what can you believe, what can you not believe, what should you focus on. I mean, personally, I've heard a few times, because I usually don't read the news. I don't, like first thing in the morning, I don't open up my phone and look at what's happening in the world. I don't read the newspaper, stuff like that. And it's not because I'm not interested in what's happening in the world. The opposite. I mean, my job is supporting people to live a fulfilled life. And for me, it's important what's happening in the world. But I know, and I completely trust, that all the information is coming towards me anyways, because having a smartphone, having a computer, and being in or living in a big city, I hear people talk about the current situations, the current circumstances that are happening around the world. I come across it anyway. And then I have conversations with people, I get more information about it. But I don't have to actively look for it. And the same goes for so many things in our lives, especially when it comes to the more negative things. Naysayers, people who are doubting what's possible in life, especially people who are doubting what's possible for you in your life, even though they have not even walked even 1 second of one moment in your shoes. I always think that if people were able to step into someone else's shoes just for a few minutes and live their lives, they would gladly go back into their own shoes. Of course, that doesn't go for everybody. I mean, I know I'm completely, absolutely, totally aware that there are people out there who have horrible experiences in life. I've worked with many of those people who have been abused, who have been like from a young age on, have not experienced any kind of love, which is incredibly difficult to deal with when you hear that. Especially, like, I grew up in such a loving family, in such a loving environment, and it didn't, like, only until later, when I was in my youth, when I started to be bullied and kind of discriminated because of my sexuality, even though I wasn't even aware of my sexuality, but I was bullied and harassed for it. But other than that, I grew up in a very safe space, and I know a lot of people do not have that privilege. But no matter where and how you grow up, there's always those two voices. The one that is encouraging, nurturing, loving. The one that is really on your side. And the other voice that is against you, against life, against other people, against hope and love. And sometimes it's very difficult to distinguish between those two voices, to know which one should you listen to. The one who is critical, or is it critical? Yeah, which is like, okay, is that really what I want to do? Is that the right path for me? Or do you listen to the one that has like yeah, let's go for it, let's do it? Because sometimes one is right and sometimes the other one is right. But above those two voices, I think there is something that we call intuition. And intuition is neither positive nor negative. It is very neutral. It is an absolute knowing of what it is that, like, the right steps that you need to take, the right thing to say. The people that you meet, you have that feeling of like, are they your tribe or are they far from the ones who are fitting your tribe? I think we do have that knowledge within us, but the voices within us, especially the battle noise kind of is overshadowing that intuition most of the time. So one thing that I always recommend that you do is meditate. Because in meditation, you're not trying to fight the voices that are fighting already, but you are coming to a more peaceful agreement. Basically, you're stepping into the role of a diplomat, where you're like, okay, there's both sides. I'm not going to be on the side of either one. I'm just going to be there. I'm going to be present. I'm going to listen to both sides, and we're going to find a neutral ground. But first, the highs, like the energy, especially when it's like an internal battle, the energy has to also become more neutral. And meditation helps so much with that. Because you're tuning within yourself and you're saying to yourself, I'm here for you. I'm listening to you. I'm not ignoring you. I'm not fighting you. I'm going to sit here with you and I'm going to listen to you. I'm not going to judge you. Not going to make you feel small. Not make you feel wrong. I'm just going to sit there and be aware of you. And very often, once you say that to yourself, immediately the thoughts start to quieten down. They start to be more strong, or less strong. They're going to be less intense. Not trying to get your attention, because you're already, I'm here. You have my attention. But I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to force myself on you. So those are the benefits of meditation, where you really start quieting your own, not quieting your mind, but to lessen the the battle noise within you. And through that, you can start releasing that intuition, where the voice of your intuition can come through, where you can then start sensing it. So meditation has a lot of beneficial effects, especially when it comes to having such a noisy kind of mind. Now, also important to understand is that most of the time, the voices that we hear within us are noises or ideas, beliefs that other people bestowed upon us through the way we were raised, through the school that we went to, through the people that we are surrounding ourselves with, the colleagues, the people in our social network, what we're listening to, what we're watching, what we're reading, all those things, like everything that we pay attention to. And we have to figure out, is it the beliefs, is it the noise, is it the voices of those people, of those influences, of those outside influences, or is it really within yourself, your intuition, your inner knowing? And I have the experience of, without meditation, I barely ever know if it's my voice or the voice of other people that I just think is my own voice because I've had it within my own mind for so long. For example, with money. Money is something like in where I grew up in that part of Austria, money was nothing people talked about. It was always like, you don't even talk to neighbors about it because, nobody needs to know how much you earn. The only thing everybody knew is kind of you have to work hard for money. And for a very long time, that's how I lived. I was like, I have to work hard, I have to work a lot of hours to make more money. If I wanted to live a life where I can pay my rent, pay my food, and also have some leftovers for things that I enjoy, like my hobbies, or traveling, kung fu, horseback riding, stuff like that. But the more I got into self-development, I realized through other people and their experiences that it's not about the hours that you work, but the worth that you're giving. And of course, there's a lot of different jobs out there, and some jobs, doesn't matter if you're worth more than what they pay you per hour and that's it. But in the end, the more worth you give, the more you will receive. But you also, it's an important thing, you have to also be aware that you have to make a choice if that worth is actually being acknowledged or not. And if it's not acknowledged, if you just get paid by the hour, then, and just a regular income where you can barely afford your expenses, then it's also important to look at, where did you set your own limits? Which voice is telling you that's it and you cannot change anything, you cannot get more. And I'm not talking about greed, I'm not talking about it's all about money. What I'm talking about is living a life, the life that you deserve, where you can actually do the things that you love. Money is part of our society, if we want it or not, but it's important to figure out how much do you need to really live a life that you're proud of and that you enjoy. And then start implementing things that you can, where you can work towards that goal. Very often we are talking ourselves out of it based on what we think we are worth. So self-worth is a huge topic when it comes to those inner voices, the goals that we have, the dreams that we have. Setting boundaries is the next step. Like the first one is really meditation. It's a super effective tool to use to really quieten down your inner voices so that you can hear your intuition. Then also setting boundaries. Setting boundaries with other people, but also with yourself. It's so important that you start saying no to things that don't serve you, to people that are toxic, to situations that are draining the life out of you, that are absolutely not good for you. You have to start saying no. And saying no is a skill, something that we are all trained not to say when we are children. Children, they have, we've all probably been there, children go through an age where they say no to everything. They just say no. Even if you know that when they say no, it's the opposite of what they actually want, but they still say no just because. But the thing is, most of the time we as grown-ups tell them like they should still do that, or they should still eat, they should still do that and this and that and so on. So we are training them that when they say no, that's wrong. And then as grown-ups, we have to relearn to say no. And that's such an interesting thing. I see that with my niece and nephew when I just watch them and observe them as their behavior as children. It's so interesting that a lot of things that are natural to them, I was going through like a relearning process over the past couple of years. It's so fascinating how as children we have so many things, and then we grow up and we're like, oh, why can I not do this? Why do I feel like I not? Now I'm lost for an example, but like imagination, or that self, like being absolutely convinced of yourself, like not in a ego kind of way, but like knowing your worth. Children, or as most children when they're specific age, they don't care what people say. They are in their own worth. They just share themselves. And it's so incredible that we then as grown-ups have lost, a lot of us have lost those capabilities and then have to relearn them. And setting boundaries is also something that a lot of us have to relearn or learn for the first time. And when it comes to your inner voices, setting those boundaries also means looking at what is yours and what is the voice of others. And then saying no to those beliefs, saying no to those things that are not yours. And then start implementing new things. Affirmations. Affirmations is another tool that is so incredible. The most effective affirmations are the ones that you create for yourself, for your specific situation. You can record them on your phone and listen to them every morning, every night, during the day. I've done that for a period of time where I listen to my own affirmations on a frequent basis, almost every single day. I recorded them, I listened to them. The thing is, if you listen to affirmations that other people record, it's still effective, but it's a different voice. It's not your own voice. But once you record your own voice and listen to your own voice, that way, like your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, it's more receptive to it in my experience, because that way it's your own voice telling you certain things like new beliefs. And you already have so many thoughts in your own voice that having that voice with positive affirmations, it's more likely that you will listen to that compared to the outside noise, the outside affirmations, or the outside affirmations, outside noise. So both work, depends on what is easier for you. I would only recommend that you just do any kind of affirmations that are helpful to you. So affirmations, setting boundaries, meditations are incredibly helpful tools that you could utilize starting right here, right now. Last but not least, one thing that I had to learn it, and for a long time I was aware of the concept, I was not able to implement it, and that is self-compassion. Self-compassion is really about you knowing your worth, but you also knowing that you're not perfect, that things take their time, that it has nothing to say about you if it takes you longer to reach certain goals than other people. I had to learn that previously, or not had to learn, but I was finally open to learn it, especially when it came to romantic relationships. I had a specific goal. Like when I was in my teens or early 20s, I was like, oh, when I'm 30, I want to have family and a relationship. Now I'm 35 and I'm single, I don't have kids. And I had to start being okay with that. I had to start being okay with the fact that my timeline is different than other people's. That doesn't mean that I missed out on things. I just had a different story. I had a different journey in life. A beautiful journey with a lot of ups and downs, but still so many things that I was able to experience. And through the breakup in the beginning of the year, I started to look at things from a different perspective. And I was like, you know what? I have to start being compassionate with myself, to say it's okay where I am. It's okay that I messed up things. During the healing process over the past couple months, I also reached out to my ex a few times and really pushed him in a way where I'm like, I kind of lost myself. I wasn't aware of me doing it. But then I had to forgive myself and say, you know what? I always come from love. And what I want is the best for everyone. I want people to feel loved, appreciated, to feel safe. But I wasn't aware that with me sharing that, like certain people, some people are not able to receive that, at least not in that very moment. And with me doing that, I could hurt them, I could push them away. But then I had to forgive myself. And I had to show self-compassion and say, it's okay. You did what your heart thought was right. And it's okay that it went the opposite direction of what you thought it would, like what would happen. I started embracing myself and saying, it's okay. That has nothing to do with my worth of being loved, of connection. It was a hard pill to swallow, but at the same time, it was a great lesson for myself to start showing myself self-compassion. So paired with meditation, with the 3 tools that I shared earlier, paired with self-compassion, I think it really, really can change a lot of the thoughts that you have about yourself, the inner critic that shows up on a regular basis, but also the voice that encourages you. If you start implementing the things that I've shared in this video, I'm absolutely convinced that you can transform your life step by step. And I always say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Life is a marathon. It's step by step that you're going to get towards the finish line. But the finish line, it just keeps like being pushed forward kind of, because there is no finish line. In life, there's always something new that we are looking forward to, that we want to experience, because life is about growth. So the finish line is basically death. We don't want to rush towards that. So let's take it step by step and enjoy the process. And with enjoy, I don't mean like putting on a fake smile and just pretend everything is great, but enjoying means to appreciate, to say life has ups and downs and everything in between, and I'm okay to embrace it. I'm okay with this happening because first of all, that's just a fact of life that I cannot change. And at the same time, it's an opportunity for you to continue to grow. Because growth most of the time comes from difficult situations. I mean, look at plants. Plants, like, to have fertile ground, you literally put shit in like a processed way on the plants so that they can grow more beautifully than if you didn't put that on them. They need a lot of water. So it's like rain, if the rainy days of life. But then they also need sunshine, the beautiful, amazing, joyful times in our lives. The same really is with our, like the way we experience life. We have shitty moments, but those shitty moments are important for us to grow because it creates a fertile soil for us to grow. We need the rainy times, the sadness, the tears, but we also need the beautiful, loving, joyful moments and like those days filled with sunshine. We need it all for our growth in life, for our expansion. If we cut out one or the other, we're not going to grow, we're not going to expand, and we're just going to die slowly but surely. So if you really want to live and be absolutely alive, start embracing the good, the bad, the in-between. Accept that there are different voices in your head, but make sure to kick out the voices that are not yours, the beliefs that are not yours, the programs, the habits that are not yours. Start kicking them out and replace them with affirmations. Set boundaries with yourself and with other people. Start saying no so that you can grow. All right, if you got some worth out of this video, I would really appreciate if you comment so we can start a communication so that we can support each other, help each other on our journey through life and support each other to grow. This is a place and space for growth, for letting go of self-abandonment and really coming together as a community. So I would appreciate if you shared this video with people you think can also benefit from this kind of information and community. And if you have not subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. A lot of love and a big squeezy hug.